Every season, there are a handful of NFL players that get overlooked for their spectacular play on the field. This year, Cleveland Browns running back Kareem Hunt has been one of those players. The Browns have been without Nick Chubb multiple times this year, and Hunt has stepped up big. Hunt was selected back at the 2017 NFL Draft by the Kansas City Chiefs with the 86th pick in the 3rd round. Kareem makes sure that he eats when he's out on the field every Sunday, but when you need to eat, you need to make sure you have easy-to-make meals at your disposal. This video is brought to you by HelloFresh. HelloFresh is a meal delivery service that would deliver fresh and tasty ingredients right to your front door. I like to cook pretty regularly with my girlfriend, and taking the time to run to the store to grab ingredients is not only time-consuming, but sometimes you forget stuff, and nobody likes taking multiple trips. A fantastic plus is that the recipes supplied are easy to follow, giving you more incentive to break out that spatula. I'm gonna be honest, guys, I was shocked to see fresh produce when I opened the box, but man, was it delicious. I cooked barbecue pork burgers with spicy aioli and potato wedges for my family, but if pork isn't your thing, HelloFresh offers a meal for everyone to choose from, including a vegetarian option, low-calorie, kid-friendly, and the list goes on. Not only did using HelloFresh save me time from running to the store, but it also prevented waste. We all know how easy it is to buy too much of one ingredient and not use it again for months. HelloFresh solves that problem with perfectly pre-portioned ingredients. They also know that we're all busy people, so they're incredibly flexible. You can add extra food if you want to feed more people, or even go my route and get the larger box and feed your family. HelloFresh is committed to supplying you with safe meals during this time and has worked hard to ensure that all their employees and customers are remaining safe. Now, a quick taste test.
Oh, it was juicy.
That burger was fantastic, and the family agrees. If you want fresh, delicious ingredients delivered to your front door, go to HelloFresh.com and use our code JDProd80 to get $80 off across 5 boxes, including free shipping on your first box. Thanks HelloFresh for the meal, and let's get right back to the video. Let's transition back to Kareem Hunt and how he's gotten to where he is today. Kareem A.J. Hunt was born on August 6, 1995 in Elyria, Ohio. Hunt attended South High School in Willoughby, Ohio. He rushed for 2,519 yards and 39 touchdowns as a junior before recording 2,685 yards and 44 touchdowns as a senior. Coming out of high school, Hunt was considered a 3-star recruit and the number 107 running back in the class. He committed to play college football at the University of Toledo. Hunt got playing time as a true freshman at Toledo, rushing for 886 yards and 6 touchdowns. The next year, Hunt made a huge jump forward, being named first-team All-MAC after rushing for 1,631 yards and 16 touchdowns. The first real discipline issues with Hunt popped up during his junior year when he was suspended for violating team rules. Hunt finished his junior year with 973 yards and 12 touchdowns en route to being named second-team All-MAC. The following year, he returned to first-team All-MAC, rushing for 1,475 yards and 10 touchdowns. Additionally, he was finally used in the passing game, recording 403 yards and a touchdown. At the 2017 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs selected Hunt with the 86th pick in the 3rd round. Hunt immediately came into the league and made an impact, earning the starting job for the Chiefs. As a rookie, Hunt led the league with 1,327 rushing yards and made the Pro Bowl. The next year, Hunt was on a roll, dominating with 1,202 all-purpose yards and 14 touchdowns through 11 games, but it was then when a video emerged of him kicking a woman in a hotel. The Chiefs released him after the incident was made public. The following February, Hunt found his way back into the league when the Cleveland Browns signed him. He had to spend 8 games on the commissioner's exempt list due to the incident. He played a minimal role in the Browns' offense when he did return. This season, though, he's had a major role in Cleveland's offense, a lot due to an injury to starter Nick Chubb. Hunt has dominated this season, already with 772 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Now that we know how Hunt landed in Cleveland, let's take a look at the running backs taken ahead of Hunt. With the 4th overall pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars selected LSU's Leonard Fournette. Fournette came out of college as one of the most dominating running backs in LSU history, rushing for a 4th most 3,830 yards in his 3-year career, along with his 40 touchdowns, tied for 3rd most all-time. He was a 2-time All-SEC member with the Tigers. As a sophomore, he finished 6th in Heisman Trophy voting after winning the NCAA rushing title. Going into the draft, Fournette wasn't just considered one of the best running backs in the draft, he was seen as the best prospect since Adrian Peterson. Fournette dominated as a rookie in Jacksonville, rushing for 1,040 yards and 9 touchdowns in only 13 games. He was expected to lift off in his second year in the pros, but he dealt with a hamstring injury and ended up only playing in 8 games, recording 439 yards and 5 touchdowns. A lot of people were down on Fournette heading into 2019, but he responded, only missing 1 game and reached a rushing for 1,152 yards and 3 touchdowns. In the offseason, the Jaguars decided to waive Fournette after not being able to find a trade partner. He went on to sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fournette has played a backup role in Tampa Bay with just 271 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Carolina Panthers owned the 8th selection, where they took Stanford's Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey was a stud in college, breaking the NCAA record held by Barry Sanders for all-purpose yards in a season with 3,864. He added 15 touchdowns and finished second in Heisman Trophy voting behind Derrick Henry. McCaffrey showed the talent to be a shifty player and could make plays on the ground and through the air. He quickly was able to utilize his talents in the pros, going for 1,086 all-purpose yards and 7 touchdowns as a rookie. The following season, he broke out in a big way, recording a Carolina record 1,965 all-purpose yards and 13 touchdowns. He was named a second-team All-Pro. McCaffrey wasn't done there though. In 2019, he absolutely dominated. He made his first Pro Bowl, was named a first-team All-Pro, and finished 3rd in Offensive Player of the Year voting, after recording 2,392 all-purpose yards and 19 touchdowns. McCaffrey is one of the best players in the league, but he has had some injury issues this season, dealing with a high ankle sprain and shoulder injury. He has 374 all-purpose yards and 6 touchdowns in 3 games. 41st overall in the second round, the Minnesota Vikings drafted Florida State's Dalvin Cook. Cook was a 3-time All-ACC member at Florida State. As a sophomore, he set a Florida State record with 1,691 yards and added 19 touchdowns. Cook showed that he was a super talented running back in college, but scouts were worried about his injury problems. Turns out, the worries were valid. In week 4 of his rookie year, Cook tore his ACL. He started off hot the next season, but he continued to deal with injuries, only playing in 11 games. It took quite a bit of time, but Cook finally broke out in 2019. He played in 14 games, recording 1,135 yards and 13 touchdowns. As a result, Cook made his first career Pro Bowl. This year, he has been one of, if not the best running back in the league. In 12 games, Cook has 1,352 yards and 14 touchdowns. Oklahoma's Joe Mixon was taken 48th by the Cincinnati Bengals. Mixon only played 2 seasons at Oklahoma, going for over 1,000 yards in each year. As a redshirt sophomore, Mixon rushed for 1,815 yards and 15 touchdowns, having a wild breakout season before deciding to declare for the draft. He was considered one of the most talented running backs in the class, but due to multiple incidents in college, his stock dropped and he wasn't even invited to the NFL Combine. Mixon broke out in his second season in the pros, leading the AFC with 1,168 yards and adding 9 touchdowns. He followed it up with another good season, recording 1,137 yards and 5 touchdowns. Mixon is certainly one of the most talented runners in the league, but it's hard to get any recognition when you play for the Bengals. This season, he's been dealing with a foot injury, limiting him to 6 games. Mixon has 428 yards and 3 touchdowns. With the 67th pick in the 3rd round, the New Orleans Saints selected Tennessee's Alvin Kamara. Kamara had a wild ride to the pros. After being suspended from playing at Alabama, he transferred to community college where he dominated, helping him land in Tennessee. In 2 seasons with the Volunteers, Kamara recorded 1,987 all-purpose yards and 23 touchdowns. Scouts were impressed with his vision and footwork coming out of college, something that immediately translated over to the pros. Despite having to split carries with Mark Ingram, Kamara absolutely dominated as a rookie. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year after going for 1,554 all-purpose yards and 14 touchdowns. Kamara didn't slow down the following year, improving to 1,592 all-purpose yards and 18 touchdowns. In 2019, Kamara was named to his 3rd straight Pro Bowl to start his career. In 13 games this year, Kamara has 1,422 all-purpose yards and 14 touchdowns. And finally, with the 86th pick in the 3rd round of the 2017 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs selected Toledo's Kareem Hunt. Hunt has had his fair share of issues in the NFL, but he has always been able to perform while on the field. The former Chiefs star has found a home with the Cleveland Browns, sharing time with Nick Chubb. But the real question is, what's next for Hunt after Cleveland? Thanks for watching. If you love J&D Productions, check out J&D Hoops, where we recently uploaded our first video. Go subscribe and hit that notification bell, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter for more J&D. We read all of our DMs and love hearing what you have to say.